Welcome back to the Ed Show. One of the things we've been talking about is whether President Obama will draw a line in the sand when we need him to. Is the president trying to strengthen Social Security and Medicare, or is he talking about crucial cuts? Let's bring in former Congressman Alan Grayson, who has been a fighter for the left since the day he got on the national scene. Congressman, good to have you with us tonight. I want you to listen to part of what President Obama said today about the entitlements in Medicare. Here it is.
The vast majority of Democrats on Capitol Hill would prefer not to have to do anything on entitlements. And I'm sympathetic to their concerns because they're looking after folks who are already hurting and already vulnerable, and there are a lot of families out there and seniors who are dependent on some of these programs. And what I've tried to explain to them is, number one, if you look at the numbers, then Medicare in particular will run out of money, and we will not be able to sustain that program.
Alan Grayson, you have been a man known for your unvarnished opinion. If you were in the Congress today, what would be your advice and how would you handle this?
I would not vote for any cuts in Medicare. I would not vote for any cuts in Social Security. And I'd be grabbing everybody else by the collar and telling them that they should do the same. Look, you know, the Republicans have been saying now for months that we need to cut $2 trillion out of the budget over the next 10 years without ever saying what they would cut. They got a free ride for the past 2 months or 3 months talking about all these wonderful cuts that are going to reduce the deficit, reduce the debt, without ever saying what they are. Now, I know a way to cut $2 trillion out of the deficit in the next 10 years. You could end the wars. You could end the wars in Afghanistan. You could end the war in Iraq and in Libya. Those wars cost us $157 billion last year, and the cost is going up, not down. If you want to save $2 trillion, how about peace? Why don't we give that a try?
Social Security is even a bigger deal, it seems like. Although Harry Reid was on Meet the Press, I think a couple of months ago, said we didn't have a problem, but I guess now the president wants to put it on the table. The president has acknowledged it's not part of the deficit problem, and I think that's starting to sink in with Americans. Here it is.
With respect to Social Security is not the source of our deficit problems. Social Security, if it is part of a package, would be an issue of how do we make sure Social Security extends its life and is strengthened.
So strengthened means cuts, okay? Let's get the code language out here. Anytime you want to strengthen something, you're going to be asking consumers who have paid into a program that's been successful for all these decades that they just got to do more for the top 2%. So if it's not the source of the problem, why in the hell do we have to address it now? What do you think?
Because Washington is now divided between the meanies and the weenies. That's the real two-party system today in Washington, the meanies and the weenies. The meanies want to take Social Security and Medicare away from grandma and grandpa, and the weenies are quite willing to go along with it and compromise. Well, people need Social Security and Medicare to live, and there's no compromise between life and death. There's no middle ground. The average person who retires in America today has less than $50,000 in savings. That's good for 1, maybe 2 years. And those people live for close to 20. Yeah. There's no way that anybody in America can get by without Social Security and Medicare, and that's what the right wing in America wants to take away. I say no. No compromise. We need to strengthen Social Security and Medicare. I want to see Medicare cover dental work. I want to see Medicare cover hearing aids. I want to see Medicare cover actual medical needs.
Is this president weak? Why isn't he saying what you're saying? Why does he throw $4 trillion out on the table when he knows that's an unrealistic number? He's just trying to prove a point that the Republicans are never going to deal with him. Hell, anybody could have told him that last week.
He's my president. He's the leader of my party. So I don't know exactly what to say. But I do know this. All of this compromise hasn't accomplished anything useful for anybody on our side. It hasn't done any good at all. The president should be saying to people, the Republican Party is cruel. Yeah. The Republican Party is bigoted. The Republican Party cares only about tax breaks for the rich. And if that were the case,
there's a lot of people that need your voice. Are you ever going to get back into this race, get back into this political arena?
Ed, I announced today that I'm running for Congress again. And already at our website, congresswithguts.com, hundreds of people have made a contribution. So yes, I'm back.